Plenty of games use superfluous language in their titles to make themselves seem like a big deal, perhaps bigger than they actually are. The Ultimate in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is not only fitting, but after spending a few hours with the game at a hands-on event, it's hard to come up with a more accurate descriptor. It is immediately overwhelming, not in the sense that it's difficult to understand, but just because there's so much in it. While Smash Ultimate will be an obvious celebration for those already intimately familiar with the series, it also seems perfectly positioned to sway those not already convinced, simply because of how quickly and easily you can start having a blast. The new characters speak to this idea of immediate fun quite well. Although certainly not obscure, Incineroar is far from the most recognizable character on the roster. Yet whether or not you're familiar with the beefy Fire and Dark-type Pokemon, it's hard not to fall in love with its exuberant pro-wrestling moveset. Throwing another fighter against the summoned ropes of a wrestling ring conveys such a convincing sense of power and chaos that blends in perfectly with the inherently frantic nature of Smash. In just a few minutes of play, it's very easy to get a sense of the character's identity. Every move sells the idea of a ferocious beast, and the character's explosive final smash really drives the point home. Incineroar is just one small example of how carefully these characters are assembled. Simon and Richter Belmont expertly embody the spirit of Castlevania. There are obvious touches with sub-weapons like Holy Water and the Cross utilized for special moves, but the character design goes much further, drilling down the feel of these classic games. There's the very deliberate swing of the whip, the weighty arching jump, and even Richter's slide from Symphony of the Night. King K. Rool is as goofily menacing as one would hope. He flops around, squishing whoever manages to get in the way. On the flip side, Isabelle is always cheery. Seeing her face light up as she tries to hook someone with the fishing rod is just delightful. It's possible to go on and on about nearly all of the characters, and the roster as a whole absolutely deserves a high level of scrutiny. You may even want to stop in the middle of a match just to catch a particular expression from a character. A similar level of detail is present in the stages as well, such as the somber Dracula's Castle with its intricate stained glass windows. It's possible to set up matches so that they transition between two different stages during a fight, a new feature in Ultimate. While a great idea, it actually ends up being a little jarring. The screen gets so bright during the transition that it's easy to lose position in a game where it can already be difficult to keep track of things. Some level of surprise and disorientation is clearly intended, and maybe with more time, it'll get easier to adapt to. Beyond the traditional smashing it up with friends, there are other ways to enjoy Ultimate, including World of Light and Classic Mode. World of Light is easily the more involved of the two and serves as the game's main single-player offering. Players start their journey alone as Kirby, who sets off to rescue other characters. Along the way, you'll collect spirits, which almost act like equipment in a typical RPG. Primary spirits will raise the attack and defense of a character, and they come with special slots. You can insert support spirits into these slots to change specific aspects of a chosen character, like giving them floaty jumps or starting a match with an item. There are also different routes to take in World of Light that lead to unique spirits and unlockable characters for those who want to play as someone other than the lovable Pink Puff. World of Light has an addictive flow to it, or at least it seemed that way in the roughly 30 minutes we spent with it. There's an absorbing loop of fighting, powering up spirits, and even enhancing your character directly through the skill tree. Battles are brief, making it easy to hop from one to the next, and special conditions keep them relatively interesting. A good example is a battle against Sonic that's meant to mimic a duel with Metal Sonic. The blue hedgehog is coated in metal, and he has the Rocket Belt item to boost around the stage. Plenty of other brawls within World of Light have their own small creative twists, and they pull from wildly different game series. Classic Mode will likely serve as a welcome respite from other modes, since it's easy to play through a specific character's batch of stages in under 20 minutes. Most stages are fairly traditional as you duke it out against foes like Donkey and Diddy Kong or a group of Mii fighters, but it all culminates in a grand final fight. In our case, playing as Duck Hunt Dog, we squared off against the glorious wyvern Rathalos from Monster Hunter, which is a sentence we never imagined writing. The fight even approximates mechanics from Monster Hunter, like using Deku Nuts to blind Rathalos, similar to using flash bombs in the actual games. The level of care present in just one fight within a single mode speaks to Ultimate's presentation as a whole. While the game can undoubtedly be appreciated for its fighting alone, it's also great to just bask in the elaborate Nintendo festival that's blaring all around. There are so many inclusions and references that regardless of your Nintendo history, it's easy to feel welcome at the party. Such a sentiment has been expressed with Smash before, but the sheer scope of Ultimate makes it more exciting than ever.
Game!